Let me ask you something. When life feels overwhelming, when things feel chaotic, uncertain, stuck, what's the first thing we do? We look out there. We blame circumstances, other people, bad luck, timing. But here's what nobody tells you. The fastest, most powerful transformation in your life starts by looking in here. There are 4 areas of your life that when you take control of them, everything begins to shift. I'm not saying it's magic.
I'm saying it's mastery.
And the minute you master these 4, your relationships change, your confidence grows, your energy elevates, and yes, your life transforms. Let's break them down. First, your mouth. The words you speak are shaping your reality, whether you realize it or not. How do you talk to others? But more importantly, how do you talk to yourself? That words create worlds. When your language is filled with negativity, doubt, gossip, or self-criticism, you're reinforcing the very patterns you want to escape. But when you speak with intention, when your words reflect confidence, boundaries, vision, everything starts to align. Second, your mind. Your thoughts are not harmless background noise. They're the blueprint for your future. If your mind is cluttered with limiting beliefs, fears, old stories about who you think you are, your potential stays locked away. But when you take control of your mind, when you challenge those narratives, when you upgrade your thinking, you start to unlock possibilities that once felt impossible. Third, your mood. Your emotional state is contagious. Walk into a room drained, anxious, resentful, and watch how people respond. But walking grounded, calm, certain, and notice how everything softens. Your mood isn't something that just happens to you, it's something you can cultivate. Gratitude, movement, self-awareness, these are tools to shift your mood and in turn shift your day. And finally, your money. I'm not talking about obsessing over wealth. I'm talking about taking control of how you relate to money.
Are you intentional with it?
Do you respect it? Do you educate yourself? Money isn't just about numbers, it's a reflection of your habits, your boundaries, your sense of worth. When you take control of your money, even in small ways, you start to feel empowered. And that confidence ripples into every area of your life. Mouth, mind, mood, money. Control these and watch your life transform, not over months or years, but instantly because your energy shifts now. Remember, it's not about waiting for life to change. It's about becoming the person who takes charge of these 4 things and letting life rise to meet you. The question is, are you ready to take control? One, master your mouth, your words create your reality. Have you ever really paid attention to the words that come out of your mouth? I mean, really paid attention? Because if you did, you might start to notice that your words, the little phrases you throw around without thinking, are shaping your entire life far more than you realize. The way you speak to others, the way you speak to yourself, it all sends a message to the world, to the people around you. But most importantly, to you. Words are powerful. They either build you or break you. They either expand your possibilities or quietly cage you in. And here's the part people miss. It's not just the big conversations that matter. It's the small, casual, daily language you use that's either pulling your life forward or quietly holding you back. Think about the phrases we throw around. I could never do that. Yeah, I'm just not good at relationships. That's just how I've always been. It's impossible to get ahead these days. They sound harmless, maybe even funny, but what you're doing every time you speak like that is reinforcing a narrative, a story about your limits, a story about what you believe you can or can't have. And over time, those stories, they become your reality. But here's where it gets exciting. The moment you become intentional with your words, everything changes. You go from unconsciously limiting yourself to consciously expanding your world. Instead of, I'm not good at relationships, you say, I'm learning how to create healthy relationships. Instead of, I'll never be successful, you say, I'm building success step by step, Instead of, this always happens to me,
You ask.
what lesson is life trying to teach me here? See the difference? One keeps you stuck. The other unlocks growth. Your language either builds walls or opens doors. It works in your relationships too. The way you speak to your partner, your friends, your family, it sets the tone for how they treat you and how they show up. If your words constantly criticize, belittle, or withdraw, don't be surprised if connection disappears. But if your words encourage, communicate clearly, and reflect your standards, people rise to meet you. And when it comes to the words you use with yourself, that inner dialogue, that's where the biggest transformation happens. Most people are at war with themselves, in their own head. You're not good enough. You'll never change. Why even bother? Would you speak to a friend like that?
Of course not.
So why is it acceptable to speak to yourself that way? When you change the way you speak to yourself, when your internal language becomes more compassionate, confident, and grounded, you'll be amazed at how your self-esteem starts to rise. You'll start walking into rooms differently. You'll carry yourself with quiet certainty. And guess what? The world will respond to that energy. People will treat you with the respect you've been giving yourself all along. So if you want your life to transform fast, start with your mouth. Listen to your words, audit your language, and choose to speak in a way that reflects the person you're becoming, not the doubts of who you used to be, because once your words change, your mindset changes, your energy changes, and your reality, it follows. To take charge of your mind. Thoughts are the blueprint for your future. Your mind, it's either your greatest asset or your biggest liability. Most people walk around completely unaware of just how much their mind is running the show. They go through their days on autopilot, reacting to life, making decisions, and forming beliefs, all based on the same tired, outdated thoughts that have been looping in their head for years. And they wonder, why does nothing change for me? Why do I feel stuck? Why do I keep attracting the same situations, the same patterns, the same pain? But let me tell you the truth. Most people miss. Your life will never outgrow your mindset. You can chase love, success, happiness, but if your mind is full of fear, doubt, and limiting beliefs, you'll either sabotage those things or you won't even recognize them when they show up. See, your thoughts aren't harmless background noise.
They're blueprints.
They're instructions you send out to yourself, to others, and even to the opportunities life tries to hand you. Here's the part that hits hard. The thoughts you entertain daily are creating your future. When you constantly tell yourself, I'm not worthy, I'll never figure it out. People always leave. Good things don't happen to me. Guess what? Your brain starts filtering the world through those beliefs. You start seeing rejection. Where there's opportunity, you ignore the doors that open because you believe they'll slam shut anyway. And over time, your life becomes a mirror of the limits in your own mind. But this is important. You can interrupt that pattern. You can take charge of your mind. It's not easy, but it's possible. It starts with awareness. Become the observer of your own thoughts. Notice the quiet, automatic stories your brain repeats. Are they rooted in fear, in lack, in old wounds? Or are they grounded in possibility, in growth, in self-worth? Most people never stop to ask those questions. But the ones who do, they change everything. When you challenge your limiting thoughts, when you refuse to accept them as facts, you create space for new possibilities. Instead of I'll never be confident, you say confidence is a skill I'm building. Instead of I'm bad with money, you say I'm learning how to manage my finances. Instead of love isn't for me, you say I'm creating space for healthy love in my life. And here's the shift. As your thoughts evolve, your actions follow. When you believe better things are possible, you show up differently. You take more risks. You set higher standards. You attract better relationships. You handle challenges with more grace. It's not magic. It's mindset. And the beautiful part, no one else can do this work for you, but no one else can stop you either. Your mind is your domain. You decide whether it holds you back or propels you forward. So ask yourself, are you letting your mind run on old programming, full of fear and limitation? Or are you taking the wheel, rewiring your thoughts, rewriting your story, and designing a mindset that reflects the life you actually want? Because once you take charge of your mind, your life, it follows. 3, shift your mood. Your energy is contagious. Have you ever noticed how some people walk into a room and the entire energy changes? It's not because they're the loudest. It's not because they're showing off. Because their mood, their state is magnetic. People can feel your energy long before you open your mouth. It shows up in your posture, in your eyes, in the way you carry yourself, in the way you respond to life.
Your mood is contagious.
And here's what most people never realize. Your mood isn't random. It's not this thing that happens to you. It's something you influence. You have far more control over it than you've probably been taught to believe. But let's be real, it's easy to get stuck in the cycle. Something goes wrong, your mood drops, you feel tired, overwhelmed, or discouraged, and suddenly your entire day feels heavy. You walk into situations carrying that energy, and guess what?
Yeah.
People respond to it. Opportunities feel scarce. Connections feel harder. Life starts reflecting back the weight you're carrying inside. But here's the truth that changes everything. Your mood is a choice. Not always an easy one, but a choice nonetheless. Think of it like this.
You wake up and your mind starts spiraling.
The to-do list, the worries, the things that aren't perfect. You could sit in that energy all day, or you could interrupt it, shift your mood, shift your day. It might be simple, going for a walk, listening to music that lifts you, moving your body. It might be deeper, sitting with your thoughts, reframing your perspective, practicing gratitude. It doesn't mean ignoring your emotions. It means taking responsibility for the energy you carry, because the world responds to your mood. Think about it. Ever notice how when you feel grounded, positive, present, it will open up to you? Opportunities seem to appear. Even challenges feel more manageable. But when your mood is negative, anxious, closed off, the world mirrors that. Conversations feel tense. Things feel hard. You repel the very things you say you want. This isn't about being fake. It's not about forcing a smile or pretending everything's perfect. It's about recognizing that your state, your mood is influencing your reality, whether you like it or not. And when you learn to shift your mood intentionally, you regain your power. You stop being at the mercy of circumstances. You start becoming the person who brings grounded, attractive, confident energy into every room. People feel that. They're drawn to it. Life responds to it. So next time your mood starts to dip, pause, breathe. Ask yourself, what small action can I take to shift my energy right now? Because it's not the circumstances that define your experience. It's the state you bring to them. Your mood isn't fixed. It's flexible. And when you learn to master it, your life transforms. 4, respect your money, financial habits, reflect self-worth. Let's talk about money. Now, I know the moment that word comes up, a lot of people tense up. For some, money feels like stress. For others, it's a source of shame. And for many, it's this distant, complicated thing they feel like they'll never figure out. But here's what I want you to hear. Your relationship with money isn't just about dollars, pounds, or euros. It's not just about numbers on a screen. It's about self-respect. See, money has a sneaky way of reflecting how we feel about ourselves. The way we manage it or avoid it often mirrors our deeper beliefs about worth, boundaries, and possibility. And I want to be clear, this isn't about how much money you have right now. It's about the energy, habits, and mindset you bring to it.
You could be making minimum wage or 6 figures. The principle is the same.
When you treat money with care, respect, and intention, it starts working for you. When you ignore it, resent it, or fear it, it quietly controls you. And most people, they live in avoidance. They're too afraid to check their bank account. They spend impulsively to feel better in the moment. They tell themselves stories like, I'm just bad with money, or it's impossible to get ahead these days. And guess what? That becomes their reality. But here's the truth that most people never realize. You can rewrite your financial story. You can create a relationship with money that feels empowering regardless of your current circumstances. It starts with small intentional actions. Track where your money goes, not to shame yourself, but to gain clarity. Set boundaries, not just with how you spend, but with who and what you invest in. Learn, because financial literacy is a skill, not something you're magically born with. And respect your money, because the way you handle it reflects how much you believe you deserve stability, security, and success. Think about it. If you constantly tell yourself you're bad with money, how motivated will you be to change? But if you start saying, I'm learning how to take care of my finances, everything shifts. Your habits follow your beliefs. Your beliefs shape your reality. And suddenly you're not avoiding money anymore. You're building confidence with it. Money is neutral. It's not good or bad, but the way you approach it, that reveals so much about how you see yourself. Are you worthy of abundance, of stability, of options, of building the life you want? The answer isn't in your current bank balance. It's in your daily habits, your mindset, your respect for money, no matter how much or how little you have. When you take control of your finances, even in small ways, something powerful happens. You stop feeling like life is happening to you, and you start feeling like you're directing your life. That quiet confidence ripples into your relationships, your career, your sense of possibility. So if you want to transform your life, don't overlook this area. It's not just about money. It's about power. It's about worth. And it's about finally stepping into the version of you who knows, without question, that they deserve stability, freedom, and success. It starts with respect. It ends with empowerment, and your life, it transforms along the way. At the end of the day, life isn't about controlling everything that happens around you. It's about taking responsibility for what you can control, the things within you that quietly shape every part of your experience, your words, your thoughts, your energy, your relationship with money. Master these, and you don't just tweak your circumstances, you transform them. You change how people respond to you. You shift the way opportunities show up. And most importantly, you change how you show up for yourself. This isn't about perfection. It's about progress. Small, intentional changes that ripple out into every corner of your life. Because when you take control of your mouth, your mind, your mood, and your money, life doesn't happen to you anymore. You create it, you attract it,
You own it.
and that is when everything starts to change.